Hello people, my name is KRiPZ and I'm here to tell you about my weekend where I casted the PUBG Mobile All-Stars Indian Grand Finals. I also have a dope t-shirt which I got from the event. And speaking of the event itself, yes, some people might complain that there were a few technical difficulties and there were delays in the game, but overall it was pretty good because whatever delays we faced in the technical side, we made up for it by seeing some amazing games. And trust me, the games were full on action-packed. Some of them were really funny as well, entertaining, and overall it was a great show. Basically, it was a great event, and here's the 5 key takeaways that you can you can conclude by the end of this event. The first major storyline is the double A, Ashe and Aurum. So a lot has changed for Fnatic since their PMCO debut, and it's these little changes that have done the trick. Fnatic continue to maintain a 5-man roster, but they have let go of In Your Dream while adding Ashe to the roster. Now, Ashe's impact was instantaneous, and the player brings a whole arsenal of skills and experience to the side. Perhaps the most unique aspect about his playstyle is his calm demeanor, and Ashe never really seems to make too many mistakes once he's on the map. Fnatic went into the last map of PMAS with just 1 point lead, one single point. And then things became intense for the squad because they lost Ronak in the very first rotation itself, and eventually 3 players of Fnatic died, but it was Ashe who carried the team on his back, and he was also entertaining us with a nice little game of hide and seek, hiding under the water and under the bridge, staying alive long enough so that he could get to second place and get the team the trophy without even firing a single bullet. Now, the other key addition to Fnatic has been in the form of the coach Prateek Mehra, aka Aurum. Now, this is a role which is largely new in the PUBG Mobile space. For those of you who don't know about Aurum, he's a PUBG PC player who has represented India in international tournaments. So, as esports grows, more and more teams will begin to enlist the help of coaches to supplement their team. Aurum's work with Fnatic has done wonders, and not only has the team switched up their drop locations, they're also rotating in a much smarter and much quicker way into the first circle. The second major storyline is the super substitute Sangwan. Now, with Paritosh having to sit out of PMAS because of an illness and Scout is away on vacation, Fnatic were in a fix because they had only 3 players just 2 days before the LAN. So they brought in Sangwan at the last minute, and he delivered on a level that no one expected him to. Not only was he on point with his shooting and kills, Sangwan stepped up in quite a few clutch situations, bailing the team out of trouble when they needed it. Sangwan made a heavy contribution to Fnatic's win, and while he may not be a permanent part of the squad, his efforts will certainly be remembered. Sangwan was the highest fragging player of the team, picking up 19 kills. The third point is about the kings of consistency. Because of the way the tournaments are structured, PUBG Mobile is not just about getting chicken dinners in every game. Sometimes the teams have to realize the reality of the situation and work towards maximizing the number of points that they can get. Not always does the circle favor you, and not always will a team be able to get the perfect drop and the perfect loot. Despite this, what made Fnatic's win possible was about getting their consistency right. The team finished in the top 2 in 5 games out of the 9, and also had the frags to back them up in terms of points. They were the second highest ranking team in the tournament, finishing with 46 kills, just 1 kill behind Entity Gaming. In LAN settings, understanding the scoreboard and keeping it in mind while playing the game becomes really important, and Fnatic recognized this and strategized accordingly, unlike some teams who had more of a do-or-die playstyle. Despite playing the center circle for most of the maps, Fnatic's rotation saw them weave in and out of the zone as the situation demanded, and when the team recognized that a chicken dinner was unlikely, they just make up for it via kills, or by trying to put 1 or 2 players into the final circle by sacrificing the rest of the team. Now, while I'm talking about Fnatic having the second highest kills, I also need to point out that it was Entity Gaming who had the highest kills in the tournament. And this brings me to my 4th point, Entity being late to the party. All things said and done, we also need to address the team with the highest amount of kills, Entity Gaming. Now, at the start of the tournament, we thought that Entity was the best team in the country, given how they came 5th in the PMCO Global Finals. However, in PMAS, we did not see such a dominant performance from Entity as we saw in PMCO a few months ago. A few factors to this decline in performance could be the fact that Entity did not change their playstyle since last time, and maybe a few other teams have adapted to them. Entity still drop Yasnaya, and Ghatak still likes leading them into fights where they have a less risk of getting third-partied and more chance to surround their enemies before engaging in battle. Now, even though that's a good strategy, Entity tend to rely on breakout performances, and even though they have slow starts in the tournaments, they usually make up for it by getting consistent high placements and a ridiculously high amount of kills later on in the tournament after a few games are over. But their players prove that they are one of the strongest in the country. Proof of this is Neo's 1 versus 2 clutch to win the chicken dinner for his team.
The BRDM's on fire, but in all the chaos, Vicious is gonna strike. Oh, he's gonna run over it. He finds Jonathan. It's KK. He's just going off. He's gonna run over all of them. It's one player left. Neo. It blows up. It blows up. And Vicious and Manu. And it's gonna be Vicious. He might just be pushing in for the kill because of Fnatic. They have one player standing. Vicious not really going to be pushing it, however, and there it is, Neo, 1v2, is he the one? Is he the one who's going to get Entity the first chicken dinner is a question, as Vicious and Manu are looking to go in for the kill. 3 alive, 2 teams, can Manu do this? He's going to go for the fight, Neo pushing in, but it's a 1v2, Neo's He 1v2s it! He 1v2s it, he clutches it out!
Our DM play, finally. We're gonna see some action. Blair is hands on his head. He has no idea.
Now that's proof that nothing in this country is predictable, because nobody would have expected Neo to come out with that clutch on top. And speaking of predictions, brings me to my last and final point about the Mastery Scrims being a hoax. Now, the Mastery Scrims rage was good broadcast, okay? There were plenty of cool games and newer game modes which were really fun to watch, like the sniper pistol mode and stuff like that. But whatever happens in the Mastery Scrim stage does not necessarily happen in the main tournaments. In the Mastery Scrim stage, Entity Brawlers did really well and they got the highest number of kills. But in the actual tournament, they were underwhelming. Similarly, teams like 7Cs, who had a decent performance in the Scrim stage, pretty much failed to show up during the actual PUBG Mobile All-Stars tournament. Meanwhile, there were teams like Insane and Mayhem, and they showed us that they can almost never predict what would happen in the games of PUBG Mobile. None of the casters or the analysts predicted that this team would be the one that came in second, but they surprised everyone and they got that second place prize. Well, those were the 5 key storylines of PUBG Mobile All-Stars Indian Grand Finals. I hope you guys enjoyed the tournament and I hope you guys enjoyed my casting over there as well. So here's some of the funny moments from the stream.
Which means they have so much more experience, which can be,
What
shown off.
about what about like some of the more unknown teams? Like I like how the cameras are zooming in to the PUBG Mobile player. All-Stars India, there we go. PUBG Mobile All-Stars India. In case you guys didn't realize that that is the name of the tournament, but now you do if you can read it. If you can't read it, go to school, kids. Well, we are going to be going live very soon.
Giving audience.
Wait, just hold on. Right now, it's Mortal and Ocean on the camera. It's us talking. Let's try to like pretend to be Mortal right now.
Oh, thank you. I'm not gonna.
The audio levels are fine. I go live with this volume. Speak.
Hi, my name is Rohin.
KRiPZ. Okay, he can't do it. That's fine. Yeah, the volume's fine. Why does it sound so distorted?
Yeah, especially this is picking up so much of the background noise.
Your level's like very high. That's why.
Casters and panelists waiting for us. So let's hear more from them.
क्या बोलती कोलकाता की पब्लिक?
Thank you so much, folks, for watching. We will see you next time. Wishing you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.